is going to be my next checklist.
Yeah, I think you would like it. But the time that I went, because people always say that Rio is dangerous. But the time that I went, it was during the Olympics. So there were a lot of police and soldiers. It was very monitored. So I felt safe there. So I don't know any other time to go. I'd love to go back, but I just don't know when, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, Rio is Rio.
Yeah, I know that before I could join Qatar, I would never travel alone. So because of the safety, to be very honest, my first layover was at Budapest, and I was so scared to even like go across the road,
Really?
grab myself a meal like from McDonald's and get back. So yeah, it's the Indian mindset. So we kind of scare
No, it's
about
not an
traveling
Indian
alone.
thing. I don't think it's an Indian thing. I think a lot of people have that kind of fear, though. Like,
Yeah.
I've encountered a lot of people with that fear. They don't even want to leave their hotel room by themselves.
True. So what places do you suggest? 5 destinations that where you can travel alone and it's safe and fun to travel.
You see, the thing is, because I actually like being a solo traveler, I'm never really apprehensive about doing that. Like, I just feel like I can go anywhere and be okay. I guess maybe it's mindset that I have because I'm from Jamaica, so I feel as though nowhere can be more dangerous than this, which I'm sure there are places, but like certain places, I do remember the first time I went to Cairo, the hotel, they actually gave me a taxi driver, and he was a very big guy, so he was like my bodyguard the whole time. I just think I've been very fortunate to, even though I've been to the country by myself, when I get there, I meet people, and it's like they kind of protect me. You know what I mean? So I've never really had a problem with that. But the 5 top places that are great to go, I think it depends on what you're looking for, what type of person you are. If you're like an adventure seeker, if you like sightseeing, or if you just want to go and just relax and chill, I do also believe that in different countries around the world, you get to experience both sides. So for example, like even in Jamaica, you have the touristic areas where people can go and they just chill at the resorts, and it's safe there, but if you come to the city, it may be dangerous for them. You know what I mean? So it all depends. I can't really give a destination because I feel as though you can experience both sides in every country. Like, I'm not going to judge a country and say that it's dangerous like that, because you can think that India is dangerous, but I probably go, and when I go to a place where it's so safe.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't know how to answer that question.
It depends. Okay.
Yeah, it depends.
Right. Okay. And so, what would you suggest for, a person who is traveling? So how tickets?
That's a long thing. Well, of course, it depends on, one, do you have a valid passport? Is it going to expire anytime soon? You have to check that, because some people don't check that, and it's probably going to expire within 6 months or a few months. And then you have to check if you need a visa to go to that country. And if you need one, then you need to go about all the process. You need to research and do the process to see how do you go about getting the visa. Then it also depends on what do you want to do. Do you want to do water activities? Do you want to do camping, hiking, sightseeing? Do you want to do those cultural tours? So it depends on those things. Then you have to think about your budget, because some destinations, of course, are more expensive than others. How are you planning to pay for the tickets? Then you also have to break down food, transportation. Are you going to do shopping, like for knickknacks or souvenirs, stuff like that? Then what I say, food, transportation, shopping. That's pretty much it, I think. And activities, money for activities that you want to do there,
Right.
You also, I always like to find out if I know anybody there. So if, let's say, I'm planning to go to, let's say if I'm going to go to Bali, I want to know if any of my friends are there before. So I'll probably research and find out on social. You can actually make friends before you get there. So you can always, so I have done this thing where I've always used Instagram to find out more about the particular destination and particular area. And through that, I would always meet people on social media before going. And by the time I get there, they can help me around, you know, navigate me where to go, what to do, and stuff like that. Do you know what else am I thinking?
How about the hotels? Like what?
The hotels, of course, you have to research the hotels. So are you, and that comes into budget. So are you gonna be staying in a hotel versus an Airbnb? Are you gonna do? I've used. I remember there was one year I was really, really broke, but I wanted to go to Sicily. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going. And my uncle, he told me about this site called Couch Surfing. I don't know if people still use it now, but it's where you can actually you can actually go on the app and you find people who are in these countries or in these areas that will actually let you stay in their house or on their couch for free.
Okay.
Right. So I did that for Sicily and Rome. And the only thing that I paid for was my ticket, transport, and food. That was it. I didn't pay for accommodation.
What's the name of the app?
It's called Couch Surfing.
Couch
Surfing. And then you have Airbnb. You know, Airbnb seems to have affordable places, and sometimes you get like a whole house for very, very cheap prices. Booking.com is one that I mainly use. So it depends on your budget when it comes on to hotels or where you're going to stay. What else? Walk with some cash. When I was traveling, I used to always have like $100 in my purse just in case if anything happens, you know, because sometimes you reach some places and they don't use ATM cards, or, you know, you can't withdraw money using your card. I know Japan, I had a problem a lot with that, because they would never accept any of my cards. So a lot of the Asian countries as well have that problem with a Western card. Another thing is you need to pack sensibly. So if you're going to a place that is cold, don't pack warm stuff. And you need to research to see what type of weather they have, because a lot of people think that in the south, like let's say the southern hemisphere, like South Africa or Brazil, that they experience the same seasons as other places in the world up north, you know. So their seasons will be different. So in South Africa, the winter time is now. The winter time is the first, is now. And then in summertime, it's in December, January, you know. So you have to research and find out what the climate is like before you go. I remember last year I was planning to go to Costa Rica for my birthday. But when I checked the weather, it was raining the whole month. So every day it was raining. So you have to definitely do your research when it comes on to weather and how to pack according to the weather. Also when it comes on to packing, like if you're gonna buy stuff when you get there, if you know you're the type of person to shop, then pack light, because then you're gonna probably have to buy a suitcase when you get there to fill everything, you know. So you're not overweight or anything like that. What else? I think it's always wise to travel with a phone where you're capable of making international calls. Or you can buy a chip. And I think in most countries you can buy a SIM card or a chip when you're in the country, and you can make international calls, local calls. I don't know what it is, but I normally set up my phone where whenever I travel, I can call. I can either, sometimes you face some emergencies that you really need to be, you know, you need to have somebody's contact or be in contact with something or somebody. So yeah, I always have that as a backup plan. So cash, calls. I think that's pretty much it.
I think that's a lot of information, and that's
Yeah.
really helpful because I think
Oh,
all these. Yeah.
sorry to cut you short. Another thing is transport. So I normally think it's wise as well before you travel or board the plane or whatever to research how it is you're gonna get from the airport to wherever you're staying. Because sometimes if let's say you're gonna take a train from the airport to the accommodation, you need to know the timings, the departure timings for the train, because sometimes they don't operate 24/7. They don't operate on holidays, stuff like that. You have to really research that. And sometimes it's also good, based on the destination and where the area that you're staying or where the airport is located, to have somebody pick you up. Like sometimes the hotels will send somebody to pick you up if you arrange it. So you have to also keep that in mind as well. So don't just land in the airport and then when you reach, you're like, okay, what am I going to do? You know, stuff like that. But yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I think there's a question asked. What is safe? Which currency is safe to travel with? So she's already answered that. That is USD. But
US
please
dollars
add
or
a,
euros, whichever
yeah.
one. Something that's more universal that you would
Okay.
expect that place to use. Because, okay, for example, Zimbabwe, they don't usually use euros. Not saying that
Okay.
they don't accept euros, but they more use US dollars, you know.